Whether you're watching, listening or reading this, welcome back to the Runpreneur vlog. We're on a mission to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days the distance of one lap around the world. It's a staggering 40,075 kilometres. It's going to take somewhere in the region of about 14 years to accomplish, so plenty of time to raise that money, and I'm even going to do it barefoot style. For the regulars will know that I vlog about my passions, which are entrepreneurship and running, and most importantly how it links together with how we can overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise as a release mechanism. Now it's a beautiful morning today, the sun is shining, it's not too cold, hence I'm in shorts and only a short sleeve skin on top, which is always a good sign. And it's a Sunday run day today, where we talk about all things running. And today's topic is from one of the Runpreneur community members, David Linney, who asks how he can improve his stamina. So as always, if you like this episode, please give it a like and a subscribe, and let's get started. So, stamina, endurance, how do we improve it? Okay, so unfortunately, there's no quick win here. There's no magic pill you can take to improve your stamina. It just comes down to work. And that's the reality. The more you do, the more accustomed your body gets to doing it, the more efficient it becomes at doing it. Hence, your stamina, endurance and running efficiency will improve. But there are some cool ways that you can actually improve this with a little bit of scientific knowledge behind it. Now, lots of people just think, right, the more I run, the better my stamina will become. And although that is partially true, that you can be very targeted in your approach to training. And if you look at all of the top athletes, they generally follow an 80-20 philosophy to their training, and 80% of their training is easy long distance running, okay? So that in itself success leaves clues. Now the first key word there is easy, okay? It's not busting your backside at intervals, 5k time trials, sprints, hill repeats, all these types of things. It's an easy run, okay? Because that's how you improve your economy, how you improve your efficiency, how you improve your running stamina. And it's really important you understand that. The four main types of exercise training session you can do in terms of running, I mean there are others, but these are the main times. You've got your VO2 max or interval training, where you're busting yourself on short sprints to try and get your heart rate to maximum. That's the idea of a interval training session or VO2 max session. You've then got tempo runs, or lactate threshold as they're more scientifically known. And what that is it's working out the threshold at which your body starts building up lactic acid in your muscles, okay? And it normally happens at a certain heart rate. There is an algorithm on your heart rate calculation to work this out, and you try and run at that heart rate. And what you're doing there is the more you run at that heart rate, the better your body is becoming at clearing lactic acid, okay, from your system, or delaying the impact of lactic acid, which is obviously clearly going to hold you back when you're running. If your muscles build up with lactic acid, they start fatiguing, has an impact on your endurance and stamina. So that's another one. The next one is hill repeats or hill training, okay? And what you're doing here is this is where you're improving your running efficiency. It's resistance training, it's up and down hills, it improves your running form. I did an episode on this recently about the benefits of hill training and why it's so important. There's a lot of evidence to suggest performance comes you get a significant performance boost scientifically by integrating 12 weeks of just 1 or 2 hill training sessions before a big race. And I think it's a 6% improvement, which is pretty dramatic when you look at times over a longer distance. So hill training is another one. And the last one is the long distance easy run. And this is where you need to understand, if you're doing heart rate training, you need to understand the impact of maximum aerobic function. Okay, now this is the heart rate stay a heart rate level where your body stops, which switches over from aerobic to anaerobic. Ultimately, it's where you're being, when you run at lower paces. Ultimately, your body can use fat as an energy supply. Okay, as soon as you go over a certain heart rate level, your body then has to switch solely to carbohydrate. It's like a hybrid vehicle these days, using electric and power, electric and fuel. Okay, like, well, it's not really, but the analogy is there. Okay, electric, you've got two different fuel types. You've got fat and you've got carbohydrate. Now, the benefit of fat is even the skinniest people in the world have got enough fat cells to be able to give them somewhere in the region of 77,000 calories worth of energy. Okay, there's no race in the world you're going to burn that in one sitting. So the reason the top Ironmen are so good is that they train so much in the MAF zone, so they're using fat. So technically, you don't hit the wall. You hit the wall when you're running if you burn all your carbohydrate supplies. Okay, because you're putting too much work effort in and your body's not using fat. You run out of carbohydrate. Carbohydrate's like a fuel gauge, and it's like it burns quicker you run. So it's like your RPM and your fuel gauge. The higher your RPM, revs per minute, the quicker your carbohydrate reduces, and that means the quicker you run, the quicker your carbohydrate depletes if you're running at that heart rate zone. If you train yourself in MAF, you can keep going. Okay, and the art is, the more you run in MAF, the quicker you become at burning fat as an energy supply, which means you never hit the wall. So if you want to improve your stamina, surely it makes complete sense to run within your MAF zone. And again, I've done separate episodes on MAF training and how you can use the calculations, so check those out if you want to find the detail. But ultimately what you're trying to do is stay below. I know that my MAF heart rate, I'm running at the moment at, let's have a look. Okay, I'm running at the moment at 139 beats per minute because I'm talking a lot. My MAF zone is, I come out of my MAF zone at 146, so I'm still burning fat and energy supply. So technically I can keep going at this pace. The problem that happens is that muscle fatigue also increases heart rate, so it does become challenging to stay in MAF zone for the long distance stuff. But if you can master that, you become the ultimate endurance athlete. Okay, in terms of perhaps not time, because inevitably being able to build up and do it at a certain pace to get the elite times, there's always going to be an element of carbohydrate burn. But to improve your overall stamina, MAF training is the way to do it. So as just to summarize that, if you can teach your body to stay in the zone where you're burning fat as an energy supply, you have up to 77,000 calories or more of fat stored in your body. Even the skinniest people have that. Okay, I think the most I've ever burnt in a one-off event is about maybe 5,000 calories. So you're never ever going to burn 77,000 calories in an event. Okay, so fat is a really valuable energy supply. The issue is it's harder for the body to convert it into an energy source, whereas carbohydrates is really quick and easy for the body to convert. That's why you get these energy gels, which in 20 minutes you've got that energy back. Okay, and that's the big difference. So when you understand that, that's ultimately how I would go about improving my stamina. To summarize, 80% of my runs would be at a slower, easy pace. Okay, that's where you build your endurance. That's where you build your base. But running, people often start running and they do slow stuff, and then very quickly they get caught in the trap of comparing themselves to others and starting to speed things up, which isn't the desired approach. So as always, hope that's useful, and as always, if you've got any questions on this, drop me a comment. I'll respond to everyone. If it's a bigger topic, I'll do a separate vlog episode and tag you in. And all that's left to say really is that do check out the links in my bios where you can watch, listen and read my content, and also stay up to date with my challenge of raising £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging the distance around the world. Right, people coming past me now, so I better let these people pass. Morning, guys. So keep up to date with the challenge. That's really important you do. Find out how we get on, how it's going. It's a long challenge, and as always, my content has always been geared around helping people overcome the emotions of stress, overwhelm and anxiety by using exercise, in my case run vlogging, as a release mechanism to relieve those daily pressures in the form of stress. And if you don't do that, I'm just running past Roy. He was on an episode, one of my business partners. Hello mate, how you doing? He's being a bit crude, so apologies for that. That shows the level of what he is, but anyway. It's so it's all about, you know, understanding the importance of having a relief mechanism, okay? And if you don't relieve those daily pressures in the form of stress, what ultimately happens is you end up, it builds up, and the stresses evolve into overwhelms when you kind of seize and procrastinate, and you can't clear those stresses anymore, and then very quickly they evolve into kind of anxiety or panic, and you're flirting with the edges of mental health issues there, which clearly we want to avoid. Now, I've been there, and I've lost multiple businesses because of this. I've lost multiple business partners because of this. Just going past someone again. Morning. And I've almost been bankrupt because of it. And it's a really dark place. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. And there's no coincidence that since I've had this running vlog in my life, which is my release mechanism, which is how I process what's going on in the world, clear my head, gain clarity, refocus, move on, that whole process that I have on a daily basis, there's no coincidence in the last 10.5 months of doing this, I've made more progress than I've done in the previous 4 to 5 years. So I hope there's enough social proof this stuff really works. And my pledge to you is that if you are one of these people, then just drop me a message, okay? The Runpreneur vlog is not about selling anything, it's all about value, and it's about raising money for children's charities. And donations are always optional, and never ever going to be part of, utilised in an unethical manner. So help is there, it's free. Drop me a message, we'll jump on a call. I'll go through a few hints and tips with you of things that I know are transferable into your life, and they'll make a positive difference. I know this because I've helped so many entrepreneurs already, and I continue to do so, because I always said if this vlog helps just one person or saves one business, it's been 1,000,000% worthwhile. So, on that point, all stuff to say, if you like this episode, give it a like, comment and subscribe. Please check the links in my bios to find all my content. You can watch it. It's all ordered nice and neatly by topic, so you can find what's relevant to you. And most importantly, stay up to date with my journey to raise £1 million for children's charities by run vlogging on consecutive days, the distance of 1 lap around the world. And I'll leave you as always with stay positive, stay happy. I'll see you tomorrow.